Oh, we have 2 more minutes.
So how many of these healthy club sessions do you have planned?
I wanted to do four.
What are the other topics?
The topics out of the book. We want to do quality meetings. And then, of course, we want to go back and do a little bit with public relations as well. And then you are doing the recruiting and the reclamation, and we may go back and touch on that again.
Well, actually, I'm doing more retention, not so
Sure.
much recruiting.
Yeah. So definitely recruiting. Did you get a chance to look at the book that's the compilation of the articles?
I have the book. I bought it the night we talked, but you know
Yeah.
how that goes. I have so many books. I need a t-shirt that says so many books, so little time.
Yes.
I chartered a Toastmaster book club leader that focused on leadership books a few years ago. And that was a book a month to read.
Oh, okay.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. It is 7 o'clock by my computer, so we are going to get started. For those of you that may not know me, I am Doretha Pear. I am your District 66 director for this year. I wanted to start out before I introduce the speaker. First, we want to do a couple of door prizes. And one person got on earlier when Marilyn and I were on, but we don't see them. So the first person that officially joined is Melissa Parks, and you will receive. I'm going to verify your address. I hope you can see it, but you're going to receive one of these leadership pins, and I will get that in the mail as soon as I verify your address. Um, let's let these people in. And then the other one I'm going to give it to, I see he just came in, but Bruce Wayner, he joined when we were on around 6 o'clock. So he got off since it was just me and Marilyn and came back. So I'm going to give him the other door prize. Bruce, you will get where leader made pins. I will send you something to verify your mailing address, and I will get them in the mail for you. The first thing I want to do before I introduce the speaker, I want to introduce our district mentor, which is Karen Isaac. Karen, did you want to say anything?
Thank you so much, Doretha. I appreciate the recognition and thank you, Linda, for also recognizing me. I'm just excited to be attending and invited to this event. It's very exciting to see all the different events to keep members motivated and moving forward with your district. I just want to share that I was a member of District 66 for when I worked in Richmond. So you guys have a special place in my heart, and I'm here to support you throughout this Toastmaster year. So thank you, Doretha, for that opportunity to speak to the district. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Karen. At this time, I will introduce our speaker. Our presenter today knows firsthand that strong clubs aren't built by chasing numbers, but by building connection. Diane Windingland, Distinguished Toastmaster, is a communications coach, author, and longtime Toastmasters leader with 23 years in the organization. She is a former District 6 director, a four-time public relations manager across two districts, and a contributing author to Toastmasters International book Healthy Clubs. Diane is also a current club member in both a hybrid club in Minnesota and an in-person club in Texas, giving her a front row view of the real challenges clubs face in retaining and re-engaging members. Today, she'll share practical, people-centered strategies for winning members back, strengthening engagement, and helping clubs finish the year strong. Let us all receive distinguished Toastmaster Diane Windingland.
Thank you. At the start of this Toastmaster year, one of my clubs, the club I'm a president of, noticed that some members weren't showing up. And, you know, at first it didn't feel like a crisis. The meetings were good, the speeches were strong, the evaluations were very helpful, and we had still the same friendly atmosphere. But little by little, the seats started to thin out. First, a member didn't show up for a few sessions. Then someone didn't start signing up for roles. And when it came time to renew, some of those members did not renew. Has that happened to you? Can I get a head nod or a thumbs up if yes, that has happened to you? Now, if you've been in Toastmasters long enough, you probably know the typical response. We often say, well, we just need to recruit more members. And in fact, it reminded me of something someone once said, that it was easier to give birth than to resurrect the dead. Well, what already happened to the ones we had? That's what we started asking and decided to really reach out, not with pressure, just with curiosity, saying things like, hey, we missed you. How are things going? And something interesting happened. When we reached out, let people know that we missed them and were curious about their lives, they weren't just a number in the DCP, some of them came back. And they came back because someone noticed they were missing. So how can you win members back and keep members? Today, I will give you several strategies and some insights. Don't worry too much about taking notes because at the end, I have a slide with a QR code that goes to a resource page and a handout and an article. And I will also put that in the chat as well. So let's go back to the beginning. Why did you even join Toastmasters in the first place? In a moment, I will ask you to put a response in the chat. But first, I will just go through some of the more common reasons that people join Toastmasters. Number one, build confidence speaking to groups. Number two, get better presenting at work. Number three, grow leadership skills. 4, improve communication in everyday life. 5, find community connection and support. Or maybe there's some other reasons. So put in the chat the number that best fits you. Gail said 3 and 5. I see another 5. Let's see, I'm sure there's lots of build confidence speaking. Number 1. 1 and 2, 1, 6, medically needed. 6, find a hobby. 4, improve communication. 3, 5. Carla says 4. Ina says 4 and 6. So lots of reasons. And you know what's really kind of funny? The reasons don't really change that much over the year. People join Toastmasters generally for confidence, communication skills, leadership growth, or connection. I joined actually for none of those reasons myself. I joined because I was homeschooling my kids and I wanted my son to be able to give speeches somewhere. And they said, well, he's too young to give speeches, but we'll let him give a few speeches on one condition. You have to join the club. So that's why I joined Toastmasters. And I just kept saying yes to club leadership, to district leadership. Now I'm starting to say no. But anyway, I just said yes for a while. So if clubs can keep delivering on these important things, members will stay. But when something shifts, maybe their schedule changes, they lose momentum, that's when retention challenges usually begin. When I think about retention, I picture something very simple. I picture an empty chair. Most clubs don't lose members in a dramatic way. It's more like a slow fade. Someone misses one meeting, then two, they stop signing up for roles, they don't give speeches for a while, and then at renewal time, they're gone. Another empty chair. And an empty chair isn't just a number. I know how easy it is to obsess over the numbers, especially when you get into district leadership. But an empty chair represents a person who joined Toastmasters for a reason, and at some point, Toastmasters stopped fitting their life, or it stopped feeling connected to their goals. Most membership challenges in clubs aren't really about recruiting harder. They're about retaining the members we already have and reconnecting with the ones who drift away. So in a moment, we'll look at some practical strategies so you can win members back and keep them, and your clubs can finish the year strong. Many clubs respond to membership dips by pushing harder on recruiting. Recruiting matters, but it won't solve quiet attrition if someone is just quietly drifting away. It can start to feel like trying to fill a leaky bucket with members in the club. The meeting can still be good and the leak continues. Here are some of the leaks that I have noticed, and you might notice even some more. People don't notice when members start missing meetings. They just are concerned about their own lives and it goes unnoticed. Sometimes their goals fade into the background. The roles that they hold, the speeches that they give, start to taper off. The member seems less connected. And maybe the meeting value seems less relevant to them. So why do members leave? I'll go through a few ideas that you probably already can think of. And in a few moments, I will have the breakout rooms open and you will have time to discuss. But here's some common reasons that members leave. Life transitions. Maybe they move. Maybe it's a new job. Maybe it's an addition to the family. Then there's the always, I'm too busy, time pressures. Maybe their goals changed, or they feel they've accomplished what they wanted to accomplish in Toastmasters. They might feel, for whatever reason, less connected to the group. They might stop seeing progress, or there could be some other reasons. So when you are in the breakout room, you should be in a group of about 3 people. I'd like one person to be the note taker and be willing to speak when we come back from the breakout room. I don't know if we'll have time for every group of 3, but we'll have time for a few. So the discussion question is, in your club or your experience with various clubs, why do members drift away? What I'd like you to discuss is patterns, signals that you might see before they leave, why they leave, and don't try to solve it just yet. Just look at the problem. Why do members leave? You'll have about 6 minutes. So if you want to go ahead and open up those breakout rooms, that would be great.
They are open. And Diane, the way that we're going to do it is that if you open up the participant list, Linda,
Yes.
Linda, Angela, and Asaria, you are in breakout room 1. Gail and Bruce and Carla, you are 2. Shatali, Charlene, and Connie, you are 3. Duressa and Drusilla and Glenda, you are 4. Ina, Jackie, and Karen, you are 5. Maggie, Melissa, and Michelle, you are 6. Nicole, Patricia, and Ravisha, you are 7. Rich and Robin, you are 8. And then Diane, are you just going to roam between the rooms?
Well, I don't think I have access. If you make me co-host, I could jump into a few rooms.
Okay, Doretha.
Okay, I'll make her co-host.
And then
Marilyn, I don't want to seem obtuse, but how do I move into the room?
look on breakout rooms and manually assign. And so, what room I gave you?
You said
Didn't I give you, what
the
room
club.
did I give you? Two?
You said two, and so
So just go ahead, pick two and join.
I just can't find it. A join breakout room. There we go. We'll try that. Thank you, ma'am. Got it.
Okay, anybody else having problems?
You know, I probably should have had it for more than 6 minutes because I thought people would be moved automatically.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah, I don't even know where to look for the breakout
You
room.
know, that's an
Janet?
option. You could have had people automatically thrown into those breakout rooms. Do you know how to do that?
Yeah, I could have, but because of how they sign, I wasn't thinking. I just thought that this would be the easiest way
Well,
to do
then
it.
I think they might need more than 6 minutes. I don't know if you can adjust that now.
Okay, let me go in.
The person was asking for the breakout room. Go to more breakout room. Do you see that?
No, I do not see anything for breakout rooms.
You don't see the word more here with 3 lines. Do you see it on?
Oh,
And then you see breakout rooms with numbers.
yeah, I'm sorry.
That's
I do.
fine.
You
That's
know,
fine.
right now you have breakout rooms close after 75 minutes. So we'll just
Yeah,
have to-
you can close them whenever. What do you want me to?
I'll wait till a few more people go into the breakout rooms.
Okay. And then we can close them whenever you get ready.
Okay, I thought this would be easier.
Frederica just joined. She need a breakout room.
Put her, what was the last one we said? I think the last one we said, hold on.
She already jumped in room 1 the first time.
Okay.
You know, I may set up the next round.
She should go to 8. And I'm going to put her in 2. Where did she go?
They said she went to 1.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to assign Frederica, assign 2, and I'm going to put her in 8. Okay.
This is DeRessa Miller, and your speaker went down while you were talking, and I did not hear my name.
Who?
DeRessa Miller.
Yes.
DeRessa.
Yes.
I'm going to put you in 2.
Thank you.
Well, you go ahead and choose breakout rooms and then join 2.
Okay, and what about Bruce Weiner and Glenda Stone?
They apparently did not listen. I am going to put them in because nobody joined 4, and I know I called 4. I'm just gonna leave everybody where they are now, and then we will just talk about it the next time around.
So you know what? I'm already setting up the next session. So why don't you let me do the next session?
You do that. That'll be great.
Okay, so I guess Bruce and Glenda gonna stay. Well, we can discuss. Because we see how the recording on, so other people they can get some ideas of why do people they leave clubs. Bruce, do you have any ideas?
Well, yeah, I mean, we've had a number of people leave recently, but they've actually had good reason. One was their mother was sick and they had to take care of the mother. Another one actually was starting a business. So there are times when where we've actually lost people and they had good valid reasons, and at least the one he's got to take care of his mom. He's intending on coming back after his mother hopefully gets better and everything.
Okay, and what club are you with?
Virginia Beach.
Oh, Virginia Beach. Which Virginia Beach? We have Virginia Beach Club.
Correct.
Okay, because we have a number of Virginia Beach clubs.
So you're with Mike Cannon and Perry Neal?
Correct.
Okay. I talked to Perry today.
Okay, Linda, why do you think people leave? You've been around a while.
Right. And just to let you know, I'm staying here because I'm letting people in, and if they drop off, I'm putting them back in. And I'm moving people to different rooms too. The reason people leave is because either their job, the job may get busy. They may move to a different location, and if the club is not hybrid, they don't have an option to join online. They may also I've heard of ailing parents, so they have to take care of their parents, and it's taking care of a lot of their time, taking a lot of their time. So some of those are the reasons. Some of those are reasons I hear.
Okay, Marilyn.
Some of the reasons I hear are pretty similar to what Linda and Bruce have said. It's life changes, and then also I think interests change and passions change. And Toastmasters may not be the thing that's really striking their passion at the time. And they may have come across different interest changing.
Okay. All right. Some of the things my club, we ask people to work the program, they work it, they get promotions and have to leave. And like one in my agency, just got a big promotion. She really came in real hot and heavy with it, got a big promotion. So she's gonna have to sit out next time because of the learning on that job. And then some of our people, they leave. Well, a couple of them joined other clubs because we went online when the COVID, we were in person all those years and we went online, but some people they've left because they felt like they needed more of the in person because they so just the fact of getting in front of people was a struggle. So those are some of the reasons. Then, like you said, with the ailing parents, sometimes health problems and different things is why some of our members express leaving. Diane, did you want to answer? Or you just want to listen to us?
I'm just listening.
Okay. Okay, so if you wanted to go and visit the other clubs, are you able to do that? I mean, the other groups.
I can. I will. I'll give people maybe a couple more minutes, and I'm just going to jump into a room.
Okay.
Okay. So do you all have any suggestions to, well, most of the reasons we gave is really nothing you can really do with them because if somebody is, of course, life changes. The ones that lose interest, you might be able to do a little bit, at least to find out why and try to spark some interest. And well, one of the things in our club too, I think people they got a little frustrated or something because I've heard from people they didn't know where they were going. So one thing we did in our club is change the mentor and be the example for the people. And the new people that we have in our club now, they're really on fire, just leading by example and working with them and helping them along the way. And that's something key to trying to help, to retain people. Because if you're in a club and the same people giving the speeches, they're going to lose interest very quickly. And one time ours had gotten like that, but now you're almost fighting to get space to speak, and which is a good thing because everybody wants to speak.
Yeah.
Now, Bruce, I have a question for you. You're a community club, correct? Where's Bruce?
Well, he must have dropped off on one of them because he's joined twice.
He's on mute.
He looks like he's still here. He's on mute.
Right, but I'm saying he's on here twice.
Yeah, just because it's because I'm on my cell phone and on a laptop. Because,
okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
no problem.
But yeah, no, I think we have lost some people because of interest, and it's really find out why they needed to drop, and there are some people that says it's not, it's not getting what they need out of it, or one of the ladies has said, I'm actually, I've gotten out of what I need out of it, and I don't, I've got other things and priorities in my life, and I've gained what I need out of it. So, but yes, the biggest thing is to really do actually call them, or at least, text, email them, whatever, to find out, what their interest level is and why, what we can do to increase it, to bring them, back in the fold. One of the things that we noticed is the fact is our club is actually on the larger side at the moment, and we need to go find out from some of the newer members. We need to make sure that they have an opportunity to speak, because with being a larger club, we're actually going to have a speech night. I think the end of April, I believe, in order to give more opportunity for more speeches. Over.
Okay. Bruce, does your club do the Toastmasters member interest survey?
Yeah. So actually, we're going to do that. That's actually, we're doing that, I think, the April 15th meeting.
Okay. Diane, if you're talking, you're on mute.
The rooms will be closing in about 30 seconds, so we'll have everybody back then.
Okay.
You are very generous in how much time you let people have after the breakout rooms close. I'm like 30 seconds is enough to wrap it up.
Okay.
All right. I think everybody's back now. Let me ask for some feedback. I will go probably room by room. There's only about 7 rooms, I think. So from room 1, we had, excuse if I say these names incorrectly, Chitali, Frederica, and Linda. Would one of you please share what are some reasons that members leave?
I can share. So we talked about that some members moved out of the states or to some other city, and then sometimes it's maybe the reason.
Tali, you're breaking up.
The women.
Chitali, we're going to move on. It sounds like you might be having some internet problems.
And the other
and Chitali, can you hear us?
Sorry.
Oh, okay. We are going to move on to room 2. One person from that room, that was Assyria, Marilyn, and Rich. If you could try to say something that hasn't already been said, that'll be interesting later.
Actually, room 2 was Carla, and she's going to speak for us.
Oh yeah, Carla, Gail, and Sarah.
Okay.
Yes, there's a few reasons, right? Sometimes we have members that just don't have the commitment, right? They thought they wanted to do it, but then they just, regardless of how much support we provide and we say, hey, we're there for you, we'll hold your hands, they just don't have the commitment, they don't want to do it. Then life gets in the way. It really does, especially if you're a member of multiple clubs. Maybe you're working, there are a couple of things that that are on your plate, and you just make that decision, I've got to let something go, and it just happens to be this particular club, right? You also have situations where the club comes in, it's gangbusters, it's starting out, everything is going great, and people start moving away, maybe because we decided to move from hybrid to online, and maybe people want more of that individual, personal time, and that's gone. So there are just a variety of different reasons. And then there comes a day where somebody just picks up, and I think you even said this, Diane, where they just don't want to do it anymore. They wake up one morning and they say, I don't want to do it anymore. And it's not anything in particular. It's not because the club wasn't giving them what they wanted. It's not because they don't enjoy the group. I just don't want to do it anymore. And we've had that happen very, very recently. And they were longtime members. Maybe you've been in there for 20, 30 years. And now you're saying, I want to do something different.
Interesting. You mentioned commitment, life gets in the way, changes in the club, hybrid to online, or I'm just done. Rather than go through all these rooms, because I know it'll be hard with some repetition, at this time I will ask for a volunteer who has a reason why members leave that hasn't been mentioned.
I have one. Hi, this is. Yes, Frederica. I was in room 1. I just jumped into a room with a check mark. What we talked about was that pathways and the changes as in over the past year may be affecting some of the more seasoned members, so to speak, that have been a Toastmaster over 3 to 4 years are having some challenges with the change, the paradigms that are going on. But we had a wonderful young lady who is a new Toastmaster, and I'm going to mispronounce her name, and I apologize. Assyria. She says it's great, it's fun, it's wonderful, because that's all she knows. Now, that kind of spirit needs to spread all over to the grandparents and the great-grandparents of Toastmasters so they can see that it is adaptable. But some folks said, oh, I just don't like the changes. I've got to get a speech and be a general evaluator. We do that all the time. So what is different?
Yes, and I'll be addressing pathways a little bit later. How about some other reasons that someone hasn't mentioned? Ina?
Yes. Our group stated one of ours were definitely burnout, especially among the long-term members or officers that leads to their disengagement. And then one that I don't think was said was club culture, conflict maybe with other members, or unresolved tensions that negatively affect the members' experience, which they might think would carry on to another club or maybe to another club. And so they disengage and just don't want to be part of it.
What would be some aspects of club culture that you can think of that might cause a member to leave?
What do we say? I was thinking like tensions between, it could be, Maggie gave a good example. She said she had a man who was actually, I guess, the Toastmaster, and he liked doing things in a certain order each time. And if someone else took on that role and they didn't do it exactly like he wanted it, you know, it was a problem. There was a conflict. And I think Maggie said he ended up leaving because no one would follow what he wanted to do, everything to the nail. So
well, conflict can be a challenge. I believe it or not, a long time ago in Toastmasters, I had to actually break up a fist fight between 2 guys. Unfortunately, we had 4 guests that day. None of them joined, and one of them sent me a very nasty email about how unprofessional the club was. Well, we got through that, but let's hope it doesn't come to blows in your clubs. I'll take one more person sharing a reason why members might leave. Do we have one more person who would like to share? Let's see, maybe not.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I see some people raise their hands. We were just going to say one of the things we said, which I think is just a basic one, even though it may not seem like it for some people, is just the money issue, the financial piece. Even though somebody made the comment that, you know, if you may spend $10, which is true. I think I spent $16 on lunch today, you know, so you might spend that amount, but then you still may not want to pay the $60 for, you know, that 6 months of membership. And, you know, the comment that I made to the person, which we had a long-term member who that was one of the reasons. She's like, oh, I don't want to pay. And so,
she decided not to continue. But I always say, my comment is generally, you know, I can't tell people, I don't know people's money situation and financial situation. So I can't necessarily speak if they make the decision that they don't want to spend, you know, $60 continue their membership, you know.
It's a matter of priorities in almost everything. And if you're a member of a lot of clubs, at one point when I was district director, I was a member of 6 clubs. And you have to, at the time we wrote checks, and you have to write checks for 6 clubs, and you're seeing all that money going out all at once. That can be a challenge, but it's not even the total amount. It's just where people are at with their finances, and sometimes it's hard to make it a priority when they're trying to pay other bills as well. So there's lots of reasons why people might disconnect. Some of them are harder to do something about than others. Like if someone moves away, well, unless you have hybrid or virtual, you are definitely going to lose that member, and all you can do is encourage them to join another club somewhere, and maybe, you know, it'll pay back in the future where someone joins your club because they moved. That's exactly what I did when I moved to Texas. I joined a club because I moved, and I actually still kept my other club because it was hybrid. So healthy clubs tend to follow a natural cycle that helps to retain members. The first thing is that someone notices when a member disengages. They watch for signals. And then someone, or maybe more than one person, reaches out. You know, maybe there's a member care plan. I will reach out personally as the president of my club to members that didn't indicate they were going to be gone. If they miss a couple of meetings, I'll send them a text. And if they don't respond, I might give them a phone call. And our VPM is supposed to also follow up, and sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. And the way I look at it, it can't hurt to have more than one person follow up, say, hey, we missed you, everything okay? And those kinds of conversations can reconnect the member to their goals or the relevance of the Toastmaster meeting to their life. You know, why did they join originally? What do they want to do now? Are they making progress that they want to see? Then comes engagement. Are they partaking in roles, giving some speeches, perhaps being mentors or being mentored? Are they being recognized? Recognition is a big deal. People love to feel valued and appreciated, because all too often at work and at home, they don't feel that valued and appreciated. So they can feel that in Toastmasters. And good meetings also matter in terms of engagement. And I know that will be a topic in one of your upcoming Healthy Club series on quality meetings. This only touches upon that. Over time, all these things lead to belonging, friendships, and connections. Belonging is one of the strongest reasons that people stay. You know, it might be easy to leave a club, but it's hard to leave your friends. In fact, that was for me when I realized I really had to cut down. I couldn't keep up with 6 clubs because I was an officer in 5 of them. And I'm very responsible, and it was just taking too much time. So I had to cut down to 2 clubs, and it was not easy because I felt like I was leaving my friends. And if you can have people feel the friendship and connection, they are going to want to stay to spend time with their friends. Now, in the chat, I'd like you to look at this loop. It's numbered 1 through 5, and put in the chat which one your club is strongest in. Number 1, noticing people are missing. Number 2, reaching out. Number 3, reconnecting to goals and relevance. Engaging with roles and recognition. Or number 5, belonging and friendship. So go ahead and throw that into the chat. 5, 4, and 5. says Robin. 5, says Nicole. 1 says Bruce. 4 and 5. 1 and 2. 4 and 5. 2 and 5. 5. 4 and 5. 1 and 5. 1, 2, and 5. 3 and 5. I was just thinking that as I'm looking at these numbers, 5 being friendly and helping create a sense of belonging is very high. And I think every good club will have that. That is perhaps, everything else being equal, the strongest quality a good club can have, where people feel like they belong, where they feel like their friends are there. And people come for different reasons. I notice there's not a lot of 3, reconnect to goals and relevance. That's probably because I mentioned it as a conversation you might have with someone who hasn't shown up for a while. However, that's something you can even do within a meeting. You can talk about how what they're doing connects to their goals or connects to the goals of people at large, like doing table topics can help you prepare for the impromptu speaking of a job interview. Connect the relevance even within a club meeting as well. Let's look a little more closely at a couple of these. And one is the power of personal outreach. This is something that my club that I'm the president of had not been doing that well. People would not show up and people didn't do anything when people didn't show up. So if you let people know they were missed, a simple phrase, "We missed you at the meeting." I'll even text that sometimes. Or ask about their goals. What were your goals when you joined? Have they changed? Or do you have some new goals? Listen with curiosity. I have used this question with people who I see fading away. Is there anything we can do to help you get more value from the club? And maybe they'll tell you, or maybe it's, I've got a new job promotion, I just don't have time. But in the chat, I would like you to say, yes, if you have a plan for who will reach out, when, and how often. Let's see if we get any yeses there. Anyone, does their club have a plan? Yes. Let's see, the district director, that's a good one. I see some no's. Few no's. Carla says yes. So I'm going to ask a few people to speak up. Doretha, am I saying your name correctly?
Yes.
Can you tell us what your plan is for your club?
Well, our plan is, we've been talking recently because we have a couple of people that are missing in his dues time, that the VPM, that she would start reaching out to the people to find out what is going on, to say that they are missing, to see if we can figure that out. But last year I was the president, so I did it as the president. When I didn't see the people right away, every time they would miss it, I would send them something and said, I missed you or whatever. And a lot of them, if they hadn't been coming, they would start coming back, or they may have had a reason that they would have to get out. But that's what our plan is to reach out to the people, because so that they'll know that we care. And we're working with our VPM now to do that.
Thank you. Charlene, does your club do anything different than that?
Good evening. So what we do is when we have our meetings, our executive meetings, we will designate a few people. We'll recognize who hasn't been to the club meetings, and what we'll do, we'll split it up, and a few of us will take on, okay, I'll reach out to this person, and then another person will say, okay, I'll reach out to that person, and so on and so forth. And there are some people that are now back in the office because of especially federal workers who were usually working from home, but now back in the office. So when we don't see them, I normally will reach out to them and say, hey, we miss you. Please come back whenever you can. And a lot of times they will say, well, right now I can't make it because of work or something like that. But at least we try to acknowledge that we haven't seen them.
Right. Carla, do you have anything different that your club does?
Well, I will say that, well, I'm in two clubs. So in one club, Advanced Leadership, Robin Jenkins, who is our VPM, she is diligently, as soon as she sees somebody is not at the meeting, at least give them at least 2 or 3 times. She'll definitely reach out because everybody's allowed to be excused at least once or twice. Generally in our club, we always let each other know, hey, I won't be at the next meeting. We are an advanced club. Those are some of the expectations that we have set. We want to make sure that we know and that we're checking in with each other. So we do have that level of belonging with that particular club. And then also as president, I'll reach out, but pretty much everybody in the club takes a responsibility for reaching out. Now, I also belong to a corporate club, which can be a little bit interesting because in the corporate world, what typically happens is that people don't make it because number one, even though you might be holding it at lunchtime, work generally gets in the way. So you can't make a meeting or, another meeting that you're in gets extended, right? And then you find out that because of a particular project, hey, that particular individual can't be there. Yet with that club, we also make sure we have a spreadsheet. We keep tally of who we haven't seen for an extended period of time. And then we do outreach. The VPM, again, generally does outreach, but we also talk about it. And I forget who was speaking before. We also talk about it during our officer meetings and make decisions as to whether we need to split up the work if it's getting to be too overwhelming for the VPM.
Right. As many people commented in the chat, it is traditionally the role for the VPM, but sometimes the VPM needs a plan. And that's something where the executive committee can work together as a team. Now, for those of you who wrote no in the chat, that your club does not have a plan, my question to those people is, will you create a plan? If you can be accountable to your clubs, but yes, if you're like, okay, we are going to create a plan. I know there were just a few people that said no, but I'd like to see some additional yeses for people who are going to create a plan. I see Daressa is going to. Karen, this is a great topic for your next executive officer meeting. Hopefully you have those on a regular basis. Okay, practical ways to increase engagement and belonging. This is also something that would be in quality clubs. Make sure everyone speaks at every meeting. We have it on our agenda, and I always keep track of it as president if there's someone who didn't speak, so I can call on them. Add variety, make it fun, themes, Quizmaster. We have something called Listen Master in one of my clubs where someone takes notes and asks questions at the end. Everybody loves that one. Use mentors or speech buddies. What I mean by a speech buddy is some people just do not want to commit to being a mentor. Maybe they could be a buddy for one speech. Recognize achievements inside and outside Toastmasters, especially if you could connect Toastmasters to that outside achievement. Create time for informal connection. In my book club, Toastmasters Club, for table topics, this was an online club, we actually had discussion table topics where we would divide up into about 6 groups. Every group had a different discussion topic, typically something to do with the book. And you'd have a group of 3 people that would discuss for 10 to 15 minutes. And then one of those would present it as a table topic. And that discussion in an online meeting gave a little more personal connection. You could ask members, survey them, what would help you get more value from the club, and see what they come up with. All right. How about those members who are a little reluctant about pathways? As someone had mentioned, new people, that's all they know. But if you have someone who is used to the legacy system, you might have some people that aren't all that excited about change. Nobody really likes change except a baby with a dirty diaper. Anyhow, you can focus first on speaking opportunities, not the program itself. Many members simply want to practice speaking. They don't have to do pathways. It's a support tool. Not that it's not a good idea for them to build their skills, but I wouldn't force someone to do pathways if they really don't want to do pathways. You can offer a quick pathways orientation or level 1 walkthrough. Maybe they just need a little help getting started. You can pair a member with a pathways buddy or a mentor. You can remind members that projects do align with their real goals and encourage members to take one project at a time. You don't have to look down the line at all that's involved. Just do one project at a time. I would like to hear maybe from a couple of people how you have helped members overcome the reluctance to pathways. What has worked? And I'll take a couple of people who would like to share. I'm looking around for hands. Anyone have a hand up? I can't tell. Melissa Parks.
I'll speak. Go ahead,
okay,
Melissa.
Gail.
No, Melissa, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Mine was, I saw this early on when the adoption of pathways, like I put in the chat, like I came into Toastmasters right when Legacy was going away. But I saw buy-in of people that didn't necessarily want to switch over were given the opportunity to learn it and teach someone else. So they were the mentor rather than being mentored. They were the mentor to someone else who needed to learn it. And it sort of forced them to also learn at the same time.
Right. Having to teach something is a great way to learn it. Gail, do you have something to offer?
Yes, ma'am. Chaitali Roy is on this screen right now, and she is one of the many astounding VPEs that we have had at Innsbruck. And there's been a hand-holding patience of holding office hours, being available at a Panera on the weekend for people to come. And there's been a total embracing. I've only been a member of Toastmasters for 8 years. And Pathways was all I've known. Okay. But there's been a constant sense of we use this tool to help you. So if you've got any questions, let us help you. And so there's been also a movement regularly for the VPEs to train their successor, which made this very easy for us to answer a question when somebody has a question. I'd say that at least a third of our members have been VPE at one time or another and are supporting one another. So it's not been a matter of, I don't want to do this, or this is ridiculous, or whatever. It's literally been, come on, people, this is the tool. Let's take advantage of it, as opposed to it's getting in the way. So in my mind, it's been about leadership, not about people being recalcitrant. And later on, I want to come back to your business about making the meetings more interesting, but I don't want to interrupt your flow right now.
Thank you. Marilyn, do you have something quick you can add?
I have more of a question for you. I was intrigued by your comment about your book club and how you have your discussion questions, and then that flows into table topics. And I was wondering, how do you manage the club success plan with the educational goals with that format for your meeting?
Oh, well, we still had speeches, and the speeches were about the book. They just fit the pathway program into those speeches.
Okay.
All right. Let me reshare here.
Rich, did you get a chance to make what you wanted to offer?
He put his hand down. So
I put my hand down because you were saying that you wanted to get something just quick for Marilyn, so I figured I'd let you move on.
Oh, well, You know what? Technically, we have till 7:30. I don't think we're going to go that long, though. Why don't you go ahead and give your idea, Rich?
Okay, well, there were a couple of things. One is I wanted to make the distinction between people who are unhappy with pathways because of change and people who are unhappy with pathways because they don't like pathways. Because I think that's an important distinction, because I've noticed that there is a tendency to try and excuse that away by saying, oh, people just don't like change. And that's not a universal thing. In answer to your question about how I deal with things is, as an AD, I've been going out and visiting clubs and giving speeches in clubs. And one of the things that I do is I have speeches that I give on here's how to make friends with pathways and how to deal with it.
Well, that's great. I know in the district I'm in now, there's someone who's available every week from the district where she'll do a 1 hour session, standing, a standing day that she does it, and anybody can join with Pathways questions. That's quite a commitment there. Thank you. But that is, change and not liking something are two distinct things. It's not either or. It can be both as well, right, Rich? All right, moving on. That former members can be some of your best prospects. So how can you make it easier or more likely for them to visit the club again? If you have a newsletter, which one of my clubs does, I'm the one who does the newsletter, keep them on the newsletter. And so they will see what's happening or see something interesting, and some of them visit again. Invite them to special meetings. In one of my other clubs, we're having 2 special meetings. We're having a 15-year anniversary, and it'll be hybrid. And then we're also having a storytelling contest. Well, that's in a different club, but we are doing some special meetings and we're inviting former members. You can always welcome them back as guests. Don't put pressure on them to rejoin. Just say, we'd love to have you back as a guest of the club. You can ask about their life and their current goals. Now, I've already set this up so you don't have to do anything, who's ever doing the breakout rooms. I will give you 6 minutes in a breakout room, and you should be automatically moved to the room. And the question is, what can you do to make it easier or more likely for former members to visit the club again? So let's see if this works. You've got about 6 minutes. The time when the rooms close is only 30 seconds. We'll see how this works. And there are some people that need to be assigned to a room. Okay, I have to assign some more people that joined. Okay, most people got into rooms really fast this time. I have a whole bunch of people in another room. Like I have 5 people in the last room, but that's okay.
Okay, it looks like Shatali is still here.
She is, and I'm not sure why. I'm not going to break up a room even though it's big. I'll just let them all be together. Because it'd be rude to move them now. Like, they just like disappear. Okay. So I don't know who normally sets up your breakout rooms.
Linda sometimes, and Marilyn, they're the people. Most of the time we get Linda to do it, but Marilyn did them today.
So I was going to say, just so you know, there are options when you set up the room and you click on options. And so the option I chose was to automatically move all the assigned participants into breakout rooms when they're opened. And then they will all automatically get moved to the breakout room, from the breakout room to the main session when it ends, hopefully. And I have it so they're going to close after 6 minutes.
Okay.
And that the countdown timer, I made it short. I made it like 30 seconds. So just to let you know, there is an option where they don't have to choose their own room. They can automatically just be put into rooms. Make sense?
Yes, I think Marilyn is aware of that because when we got on, she was asking which one should we do, but I think we misunderstood the instruction that she was thinking that you only wanted 3 people. So I thought was if they picked their own room, 10 people, could go to them. So I think that's what the mix up, but I think she's aware of that because she did say which one should she do automatically or the way she was doing it.
Yeah, and am I right that you actually scheduled this till 8:30 your time?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it was supposed to be 7 to 8:30, the whole thing.
Okay, I know I'm an hour off, so that's probably why I said 7:30, but anyway. So, and we will end before that time, but I thought, people like to discuss things, no big rush.
Yeah, it's good information and it's needed. I mean, because like I said, I think someone has put 8, but it was supposed to be 7 to 8:30 all along.
Okay. That sounds good.
Yeah.
So they have about 2.5 minutes.
Okay.
What is it going to be like when your district merges with other districts? How many districts are coming together? Just 2?
2, 66 and 29. We pretty much would be the Virginia district is one. Well, a couple of these cities or counties, there's nobody in them, but the one that's way on the tip, wherever 27 is going, they're going to stay with them. But pretty much from Northern Virginia to Southwest Virginia, we're all coming together as the Virginia district or 218.
And you'll have more divisions then, more areas.
Well, we have 9 divisions, 6 from theirs because they were a little larger than us. And we have 3. Well, we had 3 all along. We used to be 6, but to balance it out, we merged to 3. So we're going to keep the 3, and they're going to have 6. So we're going to have 9 divisions. And all.
Well, there's positives and negatives. So when I was district director, it was 10 divisions, 63 areas, 300 clubs. So it was a lot. But because there were so many people, we had a big budget and we had a lot of people who we could call on to do different roles. So those are some positives.
Yeah, well, that's what TI said. They think they'll have more people running and, and leaders or whatever, but I don't know. We'll see. But we were able to fill all the positions, and all of them, besides district director, they have, people running against each other.
Right. That'll be interesting. So there's probably going to be some competition for some of the roles.
For program quality and club growth, we have 2 people running. One of the person, she's in both of those districts anyway, 66 and 29, but another 29 is running for CGD, and one from 29 and one from 66 running for PQD.
Okay. So for district director, there's not 2 candidates?
No, Maryland decided not to run at this time.
Okay. All right, breakout room people should come back in the next less than half a minute.
Okay.
So that went a little more smoothly with having people go in automatically, except so many people had joined since I made the rooms that I had to I threw them all into room 10. And so there's 6 people that were in room 10.
Okay.
Welcome back. And for those of you who are in the big room 10, that's because I threw all the people who came in after I did the breakout room setup. You all got thrown into room 10. So there were like 6 of you in that room. Let's hear some ideas that people have about making it easier for former members to visit the club. And I'll just ask for people to share as they would want to share. And if you can, use the raise your hand in the reactions. It looks like this. If you go to react and click on that heart, and there's a raise hand icon. Okay, so I will take a look here. Ravisha, what are some ways to make it easier or more likely for former members to visit the club?
Yeah, a couple of suggestions we discussed. One is, reach out to the old members, send a note to that, most welcome to join us back. And another one is to have an open house and invite them to, join us for the open house, or for the table topics or any interesting topic, so that they can come and have a good time, and then they can take their time to join us back too. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Ravisha. Other people with ideas for making it easier for former members to come back. I see Melissa.
My group addressed the question from slightly different, because I think we didn't remember the full question, but ours was enticing former members to return and visit for sure. And all 3 of us kind of agreed when doing open houses, making, if it's an in-person option, offering food. Or in just regular meetings, one of the people in the group has a snack master that is the designated person to bring snacks for every one of their meetings.
Oh.
So that their former members always know that there is going to be a snack when they go.
People will show up for food, that is for sure. Other ideas for making it easier or more likely for former members to visit the club? Other ideas? Well, every year you do have an annual, you have a birthday party. That would be one thing to invite members to. Patricia, what are some of your ideas?
I really don't have an idea, but I wanted to know why former members were considered best prospects, because we were of the opinion that they're the worst prospects, because we keep contacting them and none of them respond or come back.
Well, they can be. They can be your best prospects if they had a good experience in the club, and then it just becomes a timing issue. Mm-hmm. But you don't want to overdo the amount of time you spend on your former members, but you just never know when someone's going to be reconnected. Or they may even tell other people, like, hey, there's this club I was a member of. And if they've had a positive reconnection, that can really help. Mm-hmm. I see Doretha.
I just wanted to say something to Patricia's question. Sometimes members, they can come back. Like in my particular club, we had an open house, and for my agency, VDOT, I'm the contact person. We had somebody come back. We are 25 years old. They started, especially because we are online now, the club was no longer there. The individual came back, wanted to be back, and one of our top people. So it is possible, especially if they're old enough, they may not think the club is still there.
Right. It's always good to have correct information, because I remember looking for a club and I contacted their contact people, and some of them were not members of the club. So that was interesting. I see Karen, your hand is up.
Yes, and just really building on like some of the communications that you send out. And when in our chat, we talked about using social media. It's a great way if people are still connected in some kind of way, even through still with the club, or if they're connected with others in the club. It's a nice way to keep them informed with what's going on, especially if you're having those special events, theme meetings or special, like you said, special birthday events. If you're doing something special, it's a great way to entice people that were former members to come back as well as connect with new members.
Thank you. And I'm not sure, is it Ina or Ina? I'm not sure how to say the name.
Ina. It's okay. It's Ina.
Ina, okay.
We talked about maybe removing the pressure to commit, not being asked to rejoin like immediately or being put on the spot to speak when they come.
Right. Yeah. That's a good idea. All right. We are going to have Q&A in just a little bit, but before that, you want to end strong, leave a legacy, and I'd like you to think, and we'll put this in the chat, of one action you might take. Some sample actions would be to reach out to a member who hasn't shown up for a few meetings without an explanation, like some people go on vacation. That could be one action. You could reach out to a former member. You don't have to reach out to all the former members. Maybe there was one that you were in contact with. Or maybe you could adjust some element of your meeting that would offer a little more recognition or a little more engagement. So in the chat, maybe in just a few words, what might be that one small step that you will make to retain members or reach out to former members? I should have had a PowerPoint slide to give you options 1, 2, and 3. This is one time when you get to do a little writing. Okay. Send a note to some former members. That's a good one. Reach out to former members with a care team. Assign the best current member who can reach the former member. Trying to match them up with people you know that they would connect with, right? Mm-hmm. Quarterly membership opportunities, inviting former members. Send actual cards to members, former and active, like a physical card. Reach out to people who have attended meetings but have not joined. That is a recruitment step, but that is a very worthwhile recruitment step of following up. Member appreciation, you could even have a member appreciation meeting that might make people feel special. Outreach email, use one of our events to reach out, invite former members to go down memory lane. That could be fun. Invite a member, but see if they can commit to a particular date versus sending random invites. Still stay in contact. All great ideas. Now, in the club, I mentioned at the beginning where I said we'd had people drop off. Well, when we reached out and said, well, we missed you, we had 3 members who hadn't renewed renew. And that brought a new energy to the club. And we've also gained 7 new members because of all this new energy. So it can work both in retaining your members as well as recruiting new members. And, you know, sometimes momentum starts with just one small connection or saying, we missed you. I'll open up for any questions you have or discussion that you might want to have around a particular idea. What questions do you have around retention? I'm sure I didn't answer everything in my presentation. Well, one question I have had people ask me is, what if the member that did not renew is one that people are glad they didn't renew? Do we even try to get those people back? I think you don't have to get everybody back, but it's helpful to know what happened and to get their perspective. People like to be listened to. If a member isn't going to come back, find out what happened and if anything could have been done differently. Other questions that people might have. Oh, do you have experience with a club joining the Chamber of Commerce? That is very expensive in most localities for a club to be a member of the Chamber of Commerce. We actually had a club in Minnesota, where I used to live, that was started by the Chamber of Commerce. So there were many people that were already members of the chamber. But has anyone else had experience with a club that joined a Chamber of Commerce? I was part of a district that joined a Chamber of Commerce, but not a club. Okay. I see Rich has his hand up.
Yeah, our club has just recently joined the chamber because one of our members is a member of the chamber. And we had somebody from the chamber who came out to visit our meeting, and we talked with her, and we may get an opportunity to use a chamber meeting facility for our club meetings, which might have some advantages. We're still working on what we're going to do with them, but something that I mentioned in my group is that we're looking at putting together some programs to offer to Chambers members, one as a service, but two as possibly a recruiting tool. They're basically lunch and learn type things using things like the Successful Club series.
Right. We're talking about recruiting now, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I do have some experience in years ago, my husband wanted to start a club and we were members of a chamber. So we went to the chamber networking meetings and got people excited about a Toastmaster club that didn't even exist yet. And we took names. We said, you know, we're going to be starting this club in just a couple of months. We'd like you to be one of the first people that get to experience it. You know, give me your card. And so then that club chartered very quickly because we had lots of names. But again, that's recruiting. So anything, let's see, anything else? If you want to put it in the chat, you can. You can raise your hand, or Linda.
My question is about how often do you reach out to former members, past members, when it becomes stalking or harassment? I know that, you know, we have, I cheered Robin because she's so good at reaching out to people, but she's always saying, I wonder if I should send them one more time. So how often or when should you stop?
Well, I think as many things in life, it all depends. It depends on if you already have a personal connection. So whenever anybody joins our club, I usually try to connect with them on Facebook. So we become Facebook friends. So even after they leave the club, we're still Facebook friends. And, you know, I might like something or comment on something. And then otherwise, there are people who like charter members. And one club, the one that was formed 15 years ago, I'm the only charter member left from that club. But we have the list, as you do for your club, of charter members, which you can find on Club Central. And we are reaching out to them for the 15-year birthday party for a big event like that. And then we use Free Toast Host, as I'm sure many of your clubs do. And when someone is no longer a member, we move them to the former members list. And then maybe twice a year, we will reach out to that list with some special event or a special invite. But you don't want to reach out every single week. And for some people, they may be your personal friends, so it wouldn't be weird at all to reach out to them. So again, it just depends, but it could get kind of stalkery if you are always inviting them and there's not any other reason that you're connecting with them. Okay, let's see if there was something in the chat. Let's see. Oh, okay, that was a completely unrelated question in the chat. Okay. Carla,
I also think that when you do reach out via email, just don't keep it to the email. You can put your phone number in or just let them know, hey, Diane, I would like to give you a call just to check in. And then if you get that permission, then you can establish that, hey, Diane, I wanted to know if you were interested in coming back or whatever the conversation is going to be.
Right.
And then even just set the expectation, hey, I recognize you don't want to do this right now. Would you mind if I reach out in another month or in 2 months or something like that, just so that you can start establishing that baseline, especially if it's difficult to figure out.
So, Carla, do you have your own business that involves sales? That's a really standard thing to do, to get permission to follow up.
Hey, I work for Capital One. We do that a lot. So
thank you. Assyria.
Yes. I'm a new member, so I don't really know about who's missing. I did reach out to someone I met the first class, and I was just like, well, hey, where you at? I hope you come back. But I don't know, like, I'll drive an hour to my to my group because I like to be in person. So I don't know if they have connections outside of the group, and they're able to meet up and talk. Maybe, I don't know. That's what I will do because I'm a very social butterfly. But try to connect with them in different ways outside of the group and see what's going on, maybe, or just politely put it out there.
Right. So since we moved to Texas the past 2 years, I have had a viewing party for the international speech contest at my home and invite members. And I was new to the club, so I didn't really know any of these former members. And I asked, please feel free to invite former members. I don't think any got invited, but now I know some former members, so I can invite them to that. But if you can have some social time and build those strong bonds, that can make people want to rejoin. Like, I'm really if the timing is right, there's always a timing issue as well. Do we have maybe 1 or 2 more questions or comments? Because I have a question for you. How many of you have virtual clubs or are a member of a virtual club? Okay, there's a few people who are members of virtual clubs, and some of those may also be hybrid. My question to you is, it can be hard to have the connection with virtual meetings. That is one of the things that I found when I finally moved to Texas and started attending an in-person meeting after 3 years of virtual meetings. It was like a breath of fresh air. And I thought, oh, we need to do something with our virtual meetings to make them more engaging. And I have some ideas, but I'd like to hear how you make the online meeting experience something that connects people. Thoughts? Your hand is still up, Asira. Did you want to talk?
I didn't realize I had to put my hand down, so I'll do that now.
Okay. Lower hand. Then Sandra, was your hand is up? Yes.
We are a virtual club. We chartered as a virtual club. We're also a corporate club, so it's a double whammy on us. But one of the things we do is we have meeting themes. And each theme, like for Christmas, we had wear your ugly Christmas sweater and have your favorite drink, as long as it wasn't alcoholic.
Who's gonna know? You don't know what I have in my cup.
That's true. So people showed up with their favorite Christmas mugs and their ugly sweaters, and I was Toastmasters that day, so I went online and got a bunch of different backgrounds and put them out on our club site for people to download and use as their background for that meeting. We do other things like we have shout outs. We shout out people in club meetings for accomplishments, as well as the club shouting out people on our agency website.
Right. That the year that the pandemic started, and everybody had to go virtual. We made a real effort, I think, many of the clubs to have fun. And, you know, we had a Christmas party and I looked up virtual games that you can play. We had like bingo cards and all sorts of things that made it more fun. I see, Melissa, you have your hand up.
Yes, my club, Ready, Set, Speak, is really successful at hybrid. And we have members not just in Virginia, but in Maryland, Georgia, Ohio, and Costa Rica. And we have not every month, every other month, a separate hour, just a social hour, just to chat and talk. Bring your drink. Maybe it's alcoholic. Play online Jackbox games.
That's
and then,
great.
of course, in our actual meetings, we encourage everyone that's online to use their camera so that no people in the room aren't talking to an empty wall and people on screens aren't talking to empty screens or to just the main room.
That's right. So I meant to share this screen that had, and I will put, right now I'm going to put a handout in the chat that covers pretty much what you saw on the slides. And then after I stop sharing, in case you want to use the QR code, you can do that. I will put the link to the resources, which include a PDF of these presentation slides, the handout that I just put in the chat, and an article that I wrote for Toastmasters magazine called Win Them Back. So I'm going to stop sharing and let me find that link real quick. Okay, let me just do that before I forget. I sometimes have the best intentions and then I forget to do it. Okay. Well, I thank you for your attention, and I hope that as you go back to your clubs, that you remember that that empty chair is not just a number, but it's someone who had a goal at one time. It could be a former member, although it's much easier if you can get them before they become former members to come back. It can be simply just noticing someone. So as District 66 rounds out its final year, the legacy you leave isn't the district name, it isn't a district number, it's the strengths of the clubs and the members in District 66. So thank you for the opportunity to talk about winning them back.
Okay, thank you so much, Diane. We appreciate you coming to our town hall and helping us to learn about retaining members and things that we should do. On behalf of District 66, we will be reaching out to you with a thank you. Everybody, before we leave, I want to do one more door prize. Who is the newest Toastmaster on here? Anybody that's under a year on here as a member? Okay. Sarah, how long have you been a member?
2 weeks, maybe, I think 3.
Oh, well, I think you probably are going to be the newest member. I don't think we have anyone else. So immediately after this, I will email you to verify the address that we have on record, and I will send you out a door prize. I'm hoping to get them out this week as soon as I get the confirmation of the addresses. So we did 3 door prizes. Melissa Parks was the first to come on. Bruce Wayner actually logged on earlier, but he got off and came back. And Sarah will be the next one. So I will get those out to you in the mail. And I want to thank you all for taking the time out of your schedule to come to this town hall and listen. Thank you so much, Karen, again, as our mentor, for coming to support us. And I am going to give you all 3 minutes back. You all have a great evening, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Let me stop the recording.